Well, hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Legacy Farmer, the podcast. This is your host, JC Young, and today's topic of discussion is this: tell the truth or live in pain. So yesterday, inside of our community boardroom call, we had a very valuable discussion around living in your truth and accepting your truth, and more importantly, owning your truth inside of your life, inside of your business, inside of every area. Now, what I want to share with you guys today is what happens when you start down this journey of finally owning your truth. Now, if you are at that point, then it means that you are tired of living a lie. You are tired of not saying what needs to be said. You're tired of not doing what needs to be done. You're tired of just living on this hamster wheel of life where it's just the same crap day in and day out, and you're just constantly putting up with the same bullshit that honestly you should never be allowing into your life in the first place. Now, again, we're talking about more ag specific people and things like that, because there's a lot of people that move back to the family farm operations and they've been putting up with a bunch of bullshit for years, and they are growing tired and frustrated. And that stuff, man, a person can only survive so long doing that, not only just individually, like you can only last it so long just with you personally, but the downside is that a lot of these people have families at home that move back to the family farm operation with them that are ultimately suffering from that pain as well. So if you're that person where you're like, man, I'm tired of this and we need to start taking action, we need to start doing things, I'm going to share with you what starts to happen when you start to live in your truth. Now, one of our members has been going through this for 2 years. Now, what I'm talking to you about as well, guys, when you start taking these steps, you start sharing what your truth is, and you start just openly owning it in front of everybody, the first thing that is going to happen is people are going to think something is wrong with you. They will think something is wrong with you. They're going to say, well, Jace, man, you've been acting this way for 15 years. Like, this is the kid that we knew. What, like, the stuff you're saying now, like, where's this coming from? Is something wrong with you? Is everything okay? And I'm like, no, I'm just speaking my truth. And that's literally what happened to me back in 2016, 2017. I started speaking my truth and what I actually felt in my life. And people that I have known for my entire life are asking me, hey, is everything okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just owning who I am, and I'm no longer tiptoeing around this world, and I'm going to say what I think about situations and not give a shit what anybody else thinks about it. Right. And, some of you are saying, well, man, that may be a harsh way of looking at it, which I don't disagree. Right. There is a point, and I learned this point, where you say things because, you want to share it and you want to be open and it makes you feel powerful to share your truth. But then there's also, you still got to find the balance of being respectful, right? But when I first started, though, I didn't give a shit what anybody thought. I was saying what I wanted to say. And there were obviously some repercussions from that because I was not always being respectful. So I had to find that balance there. But again, back to the point, the first thing that's going to happen is people are going to think something's wrong with you. And I'm going to tell you, there's nothing wrong with you. You're finally just saying what needs to be said inside of your life, inside of your marriage, inside of your operation, inside of the family business, inside of whatever relationships you have with anybody across your town, your banker, your accountant, the person at the grocery store, whatever, right? You finally start owning what you're thinking and stuff like that. Now, what happens after that, though, is people are going to distance themselves from you, right? Because they think you've gone, wacko. They think something's wrong with you. So they're going to distance themselves from you, and you are going to feel alone, right? And guess what? That's okay. That's okay. Because after a week or two, you're going to realize how valuable being alone really is, right? And the people that are going to exit your life, guess what? They were really never supposed to be a part of your life anyway. And the people that exit just because you say something or you start owning your truth, those are people that never truly supported you in the first place. Okay, so that's reality number one there that you need to accept and own because it's just God removing the people from your life that are not supposed to be there. Now, the people that do stick around, hey, great. If they accept you for who you are, no matter what is going on in your life, great. Those are great people. But the thing is that we're removing a lot of people from your life so that God finally has the opportunity to bring people into your life that are supposed to be there. Guys, when I started doing this, again, back in 2016, 2017, my circle used to be pretty big back then, and it's gotten smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And guess what? Best thing that ever happened to me. You know how much bullshit I put up with in the world today? Zero. You know how many pointless conversations I have today? Zero. And that's okay. I have zero desire to go do a lot of the things that me and my old friends used to do, or go have the conversations, the pointless conversations that are just weightless. There's no value in them, right? You're talking about the weather or football or whatever. I could care less. What are you doing with your life? Like, what's going on? How's business going? How's the family doing? Stuff like that. Stuff that actually has some weight to it, has some merit to it, that actually matters. Those are the conversations that I will have these days. And those are the only ones that interest me, right? I want to know what's really going on with people's life and stuff like that, because those are the powerful ones that actually provoke people to take action, solve problems, or where you can really step in and help somebody, right? That's what I love about Legacy Farmer is every conversation we have with a new member that we bring in, it's a powerful conversation because you finally get somebody that has been living ultimately in a lie in a lot of ways, from their family to their business and every area in between. And they're finally in a position where they're taking action. That's such a powerful place to be in. And it's so awesome to be a part of that experience. So again, though, back to the whole point of this podcast is the first thing is people are going to distance themselves from you. I already told you that's what's supposed to happen. That's what should happen, because then it gives God the ability to remove the people from your life that are not supposed to be there and bring in the people into your life that are actually supposed to be there. All right. The next thing that happens after this is the people that dismissed you, they will start thinking. You'll be like, man, I haven't talked to Jason in a while. Wonder what happened there. Wonder what some, potential things that happened there. I wonder what he's got going on or anything like that. They're going to start kind of thinking about you. Now, where this really matters, and I was talking about, some of our members going through this, is the members started speaking the truth to their parents inside of the operation. Now, this is obviously very difficult and a very challenging thing to do, because you're the young person, or you feel like the kid to your parents, and you start telling them things you've always wanted to say. Now, what's difficult about that is in the beginning, it's just extremely challenging. Emotionally, man, you feel like the weight of the world is on your chest. You can't breathe. You go and you have these conversations and stuff like that. But I am going to tell you that over time, let's say you have a difficult relationship with your dad or your mom or your grandpa, or whoever you're working with on the farm operation. You tell them what they need to be told or what you've been thinking, right? You tell them your truth and you never back down from it. Initially, yeah, they're going to think you're crazy. But what I was saying is, there's going to be a moment in time where they start to actually think through what you're saying. Like, well, maybe he's not crazy. What if what he was saying has some merit to it? Now, that time frame from when that thought actually enters their mind, it could be 30 days. Guys, it could be 18 months or 2 years, depending on how stubborn the person is and not open to whatever anybody else has to share about their life, okay? You have to be prepared when you're going through that to withstand. You have to hold your ground. And it's very difficult to do that. I say that lightly. It is so difficult to do that because emotionally, there are versions of yourself that are dying. When you start speaking your truth, the old version of you that lived a lie is dying. And guess what? That person is going to try to pull you back as much as they possibly can. And that pulling that you're feeling, that's the emotional weight, right? That's that weight that they are trying to pull you back. And you feel like you're trapped. You feel like a version of you is dying. Well, guess what? A version is, right? And that's the version that you want to die, because that's the person or the part of you in your life that accepted everybody and their bullshit. You accepted all the lies. You accepted people literally lying to your face and not living in truth. Now you're finally owning your truth. Now you're finally setting standards for what you will tolerate in your life. And you will be so much happier long-term because you are doing this. Now, when that first thought enters your mom's mind, your dad's mind, like, hey, maybe Jace isn't crazy. Like maybe there's some merit to this. That's when things start to shift. That's when things start to shift between that relationship. And the reason I'm talking about this now is because, like with one of our members, that time frame there was 2 years for them. And they just had a conversation with their parents around, hey, what you said and what you did, the actions you took, I just want to tell you, I didn't agree with you at the time, but you made the best decision you possibly could. And I'm so happy that you did that. I'm so proud of you for that. I want you to understand, like I say that, I said a few words there lightly, so much impact in those words, so much meaning in those words, because we're talking about the transition that somebody goes through, like this person's parent. The transition was, man, what is Jace saying? Like, he's crazy. Like, why is he thinking that? The dude's crazy. Oh, he'll come back. He'll come back to the farm. He'll come back and do this or whatever. To, man, yeah, I accept him for who he is and I accept him for what he's done. And honestly, I can see how it's the best move he's made. And if I'm really being honest, I wish I had the courage to do what he's done. Now, I'm not talking about myself in this story or my relationship with my dad or anything like that. I'm talking about a member who I will not disclose. But I just want to share with you, because a lot of people are in that position in life where they're starting to take a stand, right? They're starting to, or they're tired of living a lie and they're ready to start speaking their truth. I just want you to know what's ahead of you on that journey and to be tough, to hold your ground. Because like with this member, they held their ground for 2 years, basically had no relationship or very little relationship for a long time. And now we're finally seeing the fruit of those actions, right? And now what you need to understand is there's a different level of respect now between this father and this son, because he knows that the son's not just going to put up with any bullshit anymore. He knows that the son is going to speak his mind and do what he thinks is best, regardless of how it makes other people feel around him. And that's the way the world should be, right? That, in my opinion, that's exactly what it should be. When I started making those changes, my life changed dramatically. And it improved every area of my life. Now, was it difficult for like my wife, for example, when I was making those changes? Absolutely. She's like, who's this? This isn't the guy I married, which I get that, right? But at the same time, I was focused on the end result, which the end result was a better life for my family and a better future that we could provide for our kids. So my friend, if you're in that position right now, speak your truth, own it, and be prepared to hold your ground as everybody around you, including your old version of yourself, tries to pull you back in to the same box that you've always been in for years. Fight it, and you will ultimately reap rewards inside of your life that you could never imagine before. So my friends, hope you found this episode valuable today, and we will catch you on the next one. What's up, everyone? My name is Jace Young. I'm the founder of a company called Legacy Farmer, and inside of that company, what we do is we've helped over 300 family farms simplify and streamline the entire financial side of their operation and help them learn their numbers at a deep, deep level so that they can implement the systems and the processes to make sure that their operation lives on for generations into the future.